Before we get into this video, I just want to acknowledge some top comments from yesterday's video. Now, you guys made it this time around extremely hard to pick some top comments. I loved almost every single one of you guys' comments. It's hard to find ones that I didn't like. I really did. But out of those, I had to pick only a couple. So I really hope everybody keeps commenting the way that they have been, and we can pick some more top comments for the next video. First, Mind You Chop says, first of all, you are one of my favorite YouTubers, and your deck profiles are one of the funniest there are. You deserve far more subs. Why, thank you. I appreciate that. You should make more deck profiles basing on the Cyberse Structure deck, starter Yusaku and Cyberse Link, because not much people cover the new type of monsters. And also you should add combo tutorials to your deck profiles to help people who want to learn the decks you build. Anyways, those are suggestions. Keep up the work. Well, I appreciate it. We're actually going to be doing a Cyberse Structure deck, as you guys can see, deck profile challenge. So no combo tutorials this time around, but I definitely have taken that to heart about the combo tutorials. Next, Will Taylor says, I smashed the like button. Now I'm trying to smash her sister. So if you guys saw yesterday's video, I told you guys to smash on that subscribe button and then smash her sister, because it might be the only time you might get some. And Will Taylor, it's funny. I like him. I like that comment. Next, X Lightsworn 17 says, this might be the only chance you smashing on something. Savage. Now, I wasn't expecting it to be that big, but yeah, it was kind of funny now that I said that. It was all off the top of my dome, so it was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that comment too. And last but not least, Danny Expo says, I'm surprised this channel isn't a lot bigger. Well, that is why we're bringing so many videos to you guys and giving you guys so many awesome contents. Thank you guys so much for your top comments, and I hope to see more in the bottom. Also, I would like to mention the top subscribers while we're here. I hope that this part isn't too long for you. These guys have been awesome. They've been helping me by selling me cards, or they're part of the Patreon community. They're just really awesome people, and I hope that this list grows. Now let's get into the video. Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect, King of Games, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, or extremely different than what we normally do on this channel. Not only are we going to be opening the Structure Deck Cyberse Link to you guys, like you guys are going to straight up see me open it. It's going to be pretty awesome to show you guys an opening of this, but we're going to be doing something called a Structure Deck Challenge. Now, basically with the Structure Deck Challenges, we're going to take 3 copies of the Structure Deck and try to build the best version of this available. Now, it's going to be very interesting seeing that I know nothing about the Cyberse archetype other than that Firewall Dragon and Tri-Gate Wizard are really good cards. So it's going to be really fun to see, to go through this adventure with you guys, and I think that it's an awesome Structure Deck that you probably guys should pick up if you're interested in Cyberse. It's going to cost you no more than $35, I think, wood tax, to build this Structure Deck or this deck. So without further ado, actually, where am I? Let me stop before I get ahead of myself. What I want to talk to you guys about is probably what you're thinking right now. Hey, TheCaliEffect, why haven't I got the video that I requested from the last video? This was actually supposed to be on there, and if you guys have been following, or if you are a follower of my Facebook page, we held a separate poll, not only with the decks before, but also with this Structure Deck, and people wanted to see the Structure Deck. So if you guys want to be a part of that club that actually gets to, I don't know, make up for my blunders, and also see some really good news, as well as be reminded when my videos post up, as well as binder updates and secret other prizes, then go ahead and hit that like page. But more importantly, I know what I said in my last video, that you probably should be smashing on that subscribe button. Do it again, because, you know, sex is always great the second time around, and then you can even hit our sister again with the notification squad. But with that being said, now I'm going to bring you guys the opening and deck profile. Alright guys, so looking at the Cyberverse, or I always call it Cyberverse, but looking at the Cyberse Link Structure Deck, it's a pretty cool thing. I like, actually I have one right here, Yusaku. I don't know if that's his name. Is that his name? Usaki? I'm just gonna call him Saki because he fine enough to drink. Okay, just fine. That was weird. It actually has Tri-Gate Wizard and Encode Talker on both sides of it, and Tri-Gate Wizard is a very competitive card, especially with the Spiral strategy. Being able to make this monster linked up with double firewalls is not hard for Spiral. Probably a little hard now, but before was not hard. This card's pretty busted. Also, it comes with some really valuable reprints inside of this. Going over a few, it actually has Dimensional Barrier, a card that's only been reprinted twice, and both of them is secret rare. At its prime, it was $70, and Cosmic Cyclone, a card that has been ranging between the $20 and $30 range at a type. So basically, you get to pick up 2 cards that were once worth $100 410, and that's why we love structure decks. The next great thing is that it comes with cards Quantum Cap and Swap Mirror. Both of those cards were in Battle Pack. What's it called? Battle Pack Epic Dawn or whatever, Legends or something like that. And they were only released through that. So now you guys can get it in the common without having to search through the battle packs to get that card. But with that being said, there's some really awesome cards in here. Like I said, we're going to get into opening the structure deck. So that's actually all the information on the back. It has, you know, all 4 of the Cyberse monsters, a nice little mat, and then all the cards that you guys would be getting inside of the structure deck. If you guys are not getting this inside of your structure deck, you can call Kamani and complain, because I don't think that you're going to be getting anything other than, oh, we're sorry. So it does come with the beginner's guide. That's kind of cool. It's going to tell you everything that you need to know and how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I like how the structure decks and starter decks don't come with rule books anymore, because you can always just look up the rule book. It also comes with a dual mat. That's freaking cool. So you're gonna get a dual mat that has both Encode Talker, I don't know what this card is, and Tri-Gate Wizard on the front of it. The one thing that I really thought was interesting about Master Rule 4 is that when they give you mats, they kind of like give you the extra monster zone kind of cut off. I just think it's a half-witted effort, but you know, that's beside the point. I just think that this structure deck Cyberverse link is pretty cool, and I will be giving these away to some lucky subscribers, to some top comments. So that's going to be pretty fun. Next, I think that, you know, this is the structure deck. It actually has a Duel Links, let me open it. A Duel Links card in the back, which I don't know how to feel about that. I think it's a kick in the dick, because why would I spend $10, $20, $30 for real cards, and then you're desperately like, hey, please go play Duel Links. Like, I didn't just buy these cards to play real life. But nonetheless, Duel Links is pretty fun. I think that if you start in a little late, you're going to be pretty far behind because of the set and the packs and all that. But that's just like regular Yu-Gi-Oh! So it has this trade-off. So the hollow cards are Encode Talker, Tri-Gate Wizard, Dual Assassin Worm, I'm sorry, Signet Backdoor, and Binary Sorceress. So what do these cards do? We're going to start off with Binary Sorceress. That's a pretty interesting card. It is a Link 2 monster that effects read 2 monsters accept tokens. This card gains the effects based on the number of monsters co-linked to this card. 1. When a monster co-linked to this card battles your opponent's monster and inflicts battle damage to them, you can gain that much life points. So awesome, a card that gives you life points while inflicting damage. Once per turn, it's 2 effect. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 2 face-up monsters you control. Until the end of the turn, half the attack of one of that monsters, and if you do, add that lost attack to the other monster. Okay, so this actually has some OTK potential. What you do is you attack with the first monster, and then you half the attack of that monster to add it to your other monster and then attack with that monster. That's not that bad. I actually like that card. God damn it, where I put the rest of the cards? Is this it? Oh, no, yeah, this is it. The next is Signet Backdoor. Now, correct me if I'm saying it wrong. I'm just saying it as I see it. What this card does is target 1 Cyberse monster you control, banish it, and if you do, add 1 Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand whose attack is lower than that monster's original attack. During your next standby phase, return that banished monster by this effect to the field. It cannot attack directly this turn. You can activate 1 Signet Backdoor once per turn. That's a little underwhelming because it doesn't necessarily replace anything. It doesn't give you any advantage, but nonetheless, it is a quick play. So if your opponent is trying to destroy your Cyberverse monster, you can just banish it and add another Cyberverse monster from your deck to your hand and then return it. So I guess it's not terribly bad. Now, Dual Assassin Worm, the card I was having problems with, it is a level 7, it looks like. Either a level 7 or a level 8. Let's count. 2, 4, yeah, it's a level 8. And it is a 2800 attack monster. It says, oh, it looks kind of cool. I like that little red-blue thing it has on. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can banish 2 other Cyberverse monsters in your hand or face up on the field. Special summon this card, but its attack is half. You can only use this effect of Dual Abyss Worm once per turn. Once per turn, you can banish 1 card in your hand, banish 1 monster on the field less than or equal to this card's attack. It's underwhelming. I felt that if it said banish Cyberverse monsters or Cyberse monsters in your graveyard to summon them, he'd be a lot better, but there could be some things going on with it if there's some Cyberse monsters that need to be banished. Next is Encode Talker. What this card does is it requires 2 Cyberse monsters. Once per turn before damage calculation, if a monster this card points to battles an opponent's monster with attack higher than it, you can make that monster being unable to be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from that battle. After damage calculation, have this card and 1 other monster it points to gain attack equal to the attack of the battle monster until the end of turn. That's not bad. It actually allows you to get your monsters over your opponent's monsters, but unfortunately, No, it's actually not that bad. It just requires 2 plus Cyberse monsters. So it's a pretty good card to getting over. And then Tri-Gate Wizard is the star of the deck. More often than not, people are buying this for the Tri-Gate Wizard, the Cosmic Cyclone, and a Dimensional Barrier. You okay back there? You guys have to forgive her. She has a little cough right now. You okay? All right. Hang in there. You need something to drink? You need something to drink? Hey, I got something for you to drink. Hey, I got something for you to drink. It's long. It's long. Alright, sorry about that. What Tri-Gate Wizard does is this card gains the effects based on the number of monsters co-linked to this card. +1. If a monster co-linked to this card battles your opponent's monster, any battle damage it inflicts your opponent is double. That's not bad. The 2 is once per turn you can target one card on the field and banish it. The 3 is once per turn when a card effect is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. This is the star of the deck. This is easily the most important card of the deck. I want to summon this card and link it to 3 monsters as many times as possible. So that's it for the Cyberse monsters. There's Dotscaper. We're just going to kind of skim over with this card. It says, if this card is sent to the graveyard, special summon it. If this card is banished, you can special summon this card. You can only use the expected Dotscaper once and only once per turn. You can only use each effect once per duel. Well, that sucks. That means he's a one-of. Client. I don't know why I'm doing it that way. What Client does is, while this card is normal summon set, this card... Actually, let's just start building the deck. You think it would be better if we just started building the deck and then trying to figure out the cards later? Alright, so perfect. So for the extra deck, since we have an enormous amount of extra deck space, we're going to run 3 copies of Tri-Gate Wizard, 3 copies of Binary Sorcerer, and 3 copies of Inco Talker. We don't run any other extra deck cards. As you guys can see, one of the Tri-Gate Wizards are missing, but that's because I used it for a deck profile, so don't worry about that. But imagine that there's a 3rd Tri-Gate Wizard. We're going to run 3, 3, and 3. Reason why we're running it is because, like I said, we have the extra deck space, so why not? So now looking at the monsters, I'm not a big fan of Dual Ascendworm, but we're definitely going to run 1 copy of Darkscraper. What this card does, basically it allows us to continuously special summon monsters or itself to our side of the field. So it's a free Cyberse monster for a link summon. So what does this Client do? When this card is normal summoner set is on the field, all Cyberse monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense during your turn. If this card on the field will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can... Okay, this card's pretty bad. We're not going to run any copies of Client so far. I'm not liking what it does. It's weak attack. It doesn't really... I don't think it fits the theme that much. Digitron, I think, is a pretty good card when you pair it with that 1 Cyberse monster that special summons from the deck to your side of the field, which we don't have, so it does not matter. Backlinker. If your opponent controls a monster in the extra monster zone, you can special summon this card from your end. You can tribute this card, shuffle all monsters in the extra monster zones into the deck. You cannot special summon monsters. We're going to run 3 copies of Backlinker. I'm just really feeling this card effect. So let me see if I can find my other copies of Backlinker. This card not only is going to be our, like... I think it's going to be our hand trap. I think it's going to allow us to disrupt the opponent in their extra monster zones. So that's pretty good. Balancer Lord. Once per turn, let me give you guys one to see. Gosh golly. I'm going through so many cards. Did I sound like weird? Did I sound lame for saying gosh golly? Well, darn sniffles. So what does Balance Lancer do? What it does is once per turn you can pay 1,000 light points during your main phase. You can normal summon 1 Cyberse monster in addition to your normal summon or fucking set. Whoa, that's actually good. You can only gain this effect once per turn. If this card is banished, you can special summon lower. Okay, we're running 3 copies. The fact that it says we can gain the additional summon or set of a Cyberse monster is it's just good. I'm just gonna move this down here. It's too good to ignore. That's good. And then copied with the 3 copy of Backlinker, we have a strong backbone for a Cyberse deck so far. So, Launcher Commander, all of the Cyberse monsters you control gain 300 attack or defense. Once per turn, you can tribute 1 Cyberse monster to target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it. I'm gonna put this to the side. I don't really think that this card is gonna be that good. But if we can summon a fuck ton of Cyberse monsters, then we'll be okay. Cyberse Wizard says, once per turn, you can target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls, change it to defense position. And if you do, for the rest of the turn, your monsters cannot attack except to attack that monster. If your Cyberse monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing. Okay, we're not going to run any copies of Cyberse Wizard. I say these cards' names weird. Stack Reviver. If this card is used for material link summon, you can target one other level 4 or lower Cyberse monster that was used in your graveyard, special summon it in a defense position. You can only use it once per duel. Oh man, there's so many once per duel effects. I would hella run 3 if it wasn't a once per duel. I was like, oh my god, this card's gone, we're gonna run it. And then it was like once per duel. I'm like, nigga. Next is Backup Secretary. Let me put that right there so you guys can see one as well. What Backup Secretary does is if you control a Cyberse monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. We're gonna run 3 of her. And it's only once per turn. So we're definitely gonna run 3 of her. I think we're getting a really solid core. What do you think, Amber? You think we're getting a really solid core for this? This structure deck challenge, especially when it's done on the fly, is kind of fun. So far we have 3 copies of Balance North for the extra normal summon, 3 copies of Backup Secretary for the extra summon. Backlinker can also summon itself and then bounce monsters and the extra monster zone. So that's a pretty good hand trap like monster. We also have, what does Ram Claudia do? So what Ram Claudia does is when this card is normal summon, you can target one Cyberse monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one level Cyberse monster from your attack. I like its attack. It's a level 4 monster. It has some nice attack. I think we're just going to run 2 copies because its effect isn't that useful. But seeing that we can spam the field with a lot of Cyberse monsters, it might be a little more useful than I thought. Now, Cyberse Staggered, or Boot Staggered, I'm sorry, is a Cyberse monster that's level 5. So I'm kind of iffy on it unless it has a good effect. When a Cyberse monster is normal summons to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Oh my fucking god, I'm already in love. It says if you play Cyberse, special summon this card. You can only use the effect of Boot Stagger once per turn. When this card inflicts damage to your opponent, you can special summon one Stag token, which is the Cyberse. We're going to run 3 copies of Stag. Now, my reasoning behind running 3 copies of Boot Stagged is mainly because it can special summon itself. It's a Cyberse monster. We've already dictated through our extra deck is that we want to spam the field with our Cyberse monsters. Now, a couple of monsters that I'm pretty annoyed with in this structure deck that we can't play is, where's that card? Global? Like, there's literally no way to play this card in this deck because we don't run synchros. I mean, I guess we can use it for a link summon, but that's not getting Globulb's full utility, especially when we have so many monsters to make, like Trishulas, to make Bryonics, to make Coral Dragons. We can make so many things with that card, and we're hindered because we have no synchros with it. It's literally like, hey, you remember those tuners? You remember those tuners we gave you? You got to use them for link summoning now. But I'm gonna put it to the side because it might be a good idea for link summoning. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oops. 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 15, 16. We have 17 monsters already. Now, I don't think any of these Cyberse monsters gain their effect when they're special summoned. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points. Actually, let's run 3 copies of Summoner Monk. That's going to put us at 20. So we're at a pretty high monster count. And the reason why I want to summon Summoner Monk so often is so we can summon Balancer Lord to special summon another Cyberse monster to our side of the field. So I thought that would be pretty good. Let me get my other copies of Summoner Monk. And now we're at 20. So if I feel like we're going to be putting in more monsters, we're probably going to have to be cutting down on other cards. Where's my 3rd Summoner Monk? God damn it. Or should I say it like Yango? Damn it, Bubby. You're pointing to what? Oh shit, she clutch as fuck, bro. I would have never found it. So we have 20 monsters. That's a pretty high count, but you know, Mathematician is kind of useless. We don't put cards in the graveyard. Tragodia just isn't a great card. Card Trooper is another one of those problems that we don't put cards in the graveyard. The Bridge Dragon, we don't even have synchros. Like, there's no targets really. Like, Crane, target one level 3 monster in your graveyard and special summon it. That's not bad, but I don't think we need it. Magician of Faith is too slow. Now, Jester Counterfeit was a card that only came out in Super Rare, and I think it was a Star Strike Blast, correct me if I'm wrong, Super Rare. And its effect reads, you can only control one Jester Counterfeit. You can special summon this card in attack position. If summoned this way during your next in-phase, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, or return both that and this card to your hand. This is not bad. It's a pretty good hand trap. Good manipulation. I think I'm just going to put it to the side because, like I said, I already have enough monsters. So that's going to sum up the monsters with 3 Backlinker, 3 Balancer Lord, 3 Backup Secretary, 3 Boot Staggered, 2 Ram Claudia, 1 Dotscaper, 1 Stack Revival, and 3 Summoner Monk. I think that this is a really solid core, and I would probably get some games on this you know, you guys like this video and let's get to 100 likes. We're going to run the obvious 1 copy of Soul Charge. I shouldn't even have to read this card to know how busted Soul Charge is, and I know they didn't change anything. Shuffle Reborn. If you control no monsters, target one monster from your graveyard, special summon it, but it has its effects negated. Also banish it during the end phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Target one card you control, shuffle into the deck, and then draw 1 card. I have to reread Shuffle Reborn. We're going to play at least 2 copies of those. Because you guys have to remember, we want to spam the field. Oops. We want to spam the field with Cyberse monsters. So Shuffle Reborn is going to allow us to recycle those Cyberse monsters to our side of the field. Soul Charge is also going to do the same. I can't see me banishing Cyberse monsters right now, so I'm just going to put that to the side. Signet Backdoor. I don't like its effects, but it actually is really good at getting over opponent's cards and searching the Cyberse monster that we need. So we're going to play 2 copies. 1 copy of Mind Control. You can only play 1. 3 Cosmic Cyclone. That's going to be really good for disruption. Like, I mean, that's an automatic card. Seeing that, I mean, that's a lot of reasons why people even bought the Structure Deck or considered buying the Structure Deck. Where's my 3rd Cyclone? Am I getting ripped for my 3rd Cyclone? Hey, Bear, somebody fucking me for Cyclones. Hey, man, I at least like to be taken out on a date before you fuck me. All right, so nobody fucked me. Here's my Cosmic Cyclone. There it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to have to run a high count of spell cards just to be able to keep up with our Summoner Monk targets. I would love to run 18 monsters, 14 spells, and 8 traps. Let's see if we actually have to go back to the main deck and cut cards. So Where Art Thou is not going to be a perfect card for this deck. Moon Mirror Shield actually allows us to get over all of our opponent's targets, and it's an equip card, but it does allow us to get over, like I said, all of our opponent's targets, and, you know, it's a spell card to discard for Summoner Monk. So I'm going to go ahead and side with at least 2 copies of this card. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're at 11. Again, I would love for some of these spells to force their way into the lineup, but we're not going to make them force our way into our lineup. We don't want to play bad cards. Let's put it that way. So boom, boom, oops, boom. All right. I'm separating the monster spells and traps. I don't even really know what the traps do. The traps are pretty much going to dictate how many traps we run. I know we're going to run the 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier. We're going to actually, I'm going to put this to the side. We're going to come back to it because it's only 11. So I got my monsters, my spells, and my traps. Now, the traps. Woo, deck building is hard, especially when you do it on camera. Recorded Alive. Now, what does this card do? Hopefully, it's like the best card in here, and it'll, you know, it makes me play 3 of them. Target 1, link 3 Cyberverse monster you control, or is in your graveyard, banish it. And if you do, special summon 1 Cold Talker monster from your extra deck. If you control no monsters in the extra monster zone, you can banish this card from the graveyard to target one of your cold monsters, special summon it. Okay, I'm just going to play 1. I'm going to play 1 since it's so situational. This card, like the situations for this card is just, man. All right, we're also going to play 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier. So we're at 4 traps. Miracle's Wake. Target 1 monster that was destroyed. Nope, terrible. Powerful Reborn. Activate by targeting a level 4 monster, special summon it. I'd rather not run it right now. This Swamp Mirror special summons it as a monster, so does Quantum Cat. We're probably going to pass on those. We're going to pass on Ghost from the Past. It reads, banish 2 monsters from your graveyard, target 1 attack position monster on the field, changes the attack to 0 to the end of the turn. Huh. We could combo that with DDR, actually. I'm starting to think. We're going to run 2 copies of Stormy Mirror Force. I don't want to run 3 because, actually, I might run 3. We can combo this card. If we can fill our deck with multiple Cyberse monsters, we can banish them to turn our opponent's monsters attack to 0, and then tutor them to our field with DDR. So I'm really interested in that. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to take a risk on this card. Hopefully it's good. We're going to run 2 copies of Ghost from the Past. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have our 8. I'm only going to stick to the 2 Stormy Mirror Force just because I really want to see how this Ghost from the Past interacts with the deck. So with that being said, back to our monsters, I really feel we're going to have to cut down. I'm going to cut Ram Clouder. Oh, I just noticed he's like a router. Ram Clouder? Router? No? Or Rom Clouder, I'm sorry. He's a Ram Clouder? Router? Alright. We're going to cut down on her, making us 19. And I think we want to cut down on Boot Staggered, seeing that it can only be summoned when a Cyberverse monster is special summoned. Actually, no, we'll put back the Stagger. We'll take out the Backlinker because Backlinker requires our opponents to have cards. So now we're down to 18. We have 8 traps. So now we can focus on our spells. Ooh, here's our spells. Our spell lineup seems pretty strong. Solid. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And also the Signet Backdoor combos with the DDR. We're going to run 2 copies of DDR. That's going to put us at 13. And we're also going to run Gold Sarcophagus for 14. I want to run another copy of Gold Sarcophagus. I'm not seeing something I would take out right now. I'd have to do some testing before I have to, take out the Gold Sarcophagus, because these 2 right now tutor the monster that you need when you really need it. But I really feel strong on, you know what? We're gonna take out 1 copy of Cosmic Cyclone, and we're gonna play the Gold Sarcophagus just because. So now that we are done with the extra deck challenge, or the structure deck challenge, I'm gonna show you guys the entire build. So 3 copies of Summoner Monk. This card is gonna tutor our Cyberverse, our main Cyberverse monster, from our deck to our field. The main Cyberverse monster we want to tutor is Balancer Lord. We're going to run 3 copies. That's not in here. We're going to run 3 copies of that card. Basically what it does is, at the cost of 1,000 life points, we get a second summon of our Cyberse monsters. We're going to run 3 copies of Boot Staggered. Anytime we normal summon a Cyberse monster, this card can be special summoned. It also helps us, spam the field with Cyberse monsters. 3 copies of Cyberse Monster, or Backup Secretary. This Cyberse monster can be special summoned when we control a Cyberse monster, so it helps fuel our field. 2 copies of Backlinker. I think that this monster, my opponent has to control the monster in the extra monster zone, but it also gets rid of monsters in the extra monster zone. I think that's pretty cool. 1 stack Reviver. This card is it's just nutty. Being able to use for link material, really good. Unfortunately, it's only once per duel. 1 Dotscaper, a card that can special summon itself as well. And then 1 Ram Counter for Recursion. That's going to sum up the monsters. I know this video's long, but you guys like it. For spells, 2 DDR. That's going to be to special summon all of our banished monsters to our side of the field. Moon Mirror Shield's going to help us get over our opponent's threats. 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone is going to banish our opponent's back row. Mind Control for when we want to steal their monster for a link play. Signet Backdoor is actually going to allow our monsters to escape from pressure, and also even fuels for DDR and searches as a card, so it's not that bad. Shuffle Reborn, because we can put monsters to the graveyard for DDR, Shuffle Reborn becomes more live. Soul Charge is really good for special summon Cyberse monsters to our side of the field, and Gold Sarcophagus not only tutors monsters from our from our deck to our side of the field, but it also is a DDR target, so it's pretty good. We run 14 spells, which is going to work really well for Summoner Monk. Now for traps, 2 copies of Stormy Mirror Force, 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier, 1 copy of Decoded Alive, and 2 copies of Ghost from the Past. I feel like this card might be a sleeper. Might have to drop 1 of them for another copy of Stormy Mirror Force. I just really want to try and add some interesting effects, reducing your opponent's monster attack. This card, I feel, isn't going to be as alive as I want it to be. Also, I'm not 100% on it. I might have to up it if we are able to make Link 3 monsters that easily. D-Barrier, if you're playing against your opponent and they have the 3 structure decks, just take them out. You're not going to stop anything with the D-Barrier. So that is it for the main deck. For the extra deck, 3 copies of Tri-Gate Wizard. Now keep in mind, I have the 3rd one, it's just somewhere. 3 copies of Encode Talker and 3 copies of Binary Sorceress. That was really fun. I really hope you guys enjoyed this entire video of the deck profile challenge, me building a Cyberse structure deck. I'm pretty interested in it. If you guys want to see me play this deck, hey, give it some likes. Give it some likes, man. That's all I gotta ask. But more importantly, I want to know, what do you guys think? Which one of these decks should we be profiling next? Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of The Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy.